Hello, there we go. It took me a second to unmute, and the music is still so loud in my mind, in my ears, and in my mind too. Hi everybody, how are you? Hello. How's everybody doing? Oh my goodness, there's so many people in the chat right now. Hello to John Newman. Oh my goodness. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I see that there are a bunch of people who are here before I got started, so I hope you weren't waiting too long. But hello to Idun Rudemo and Pika, and Pika wants to know if anyone's tried Kratom. Kratom? What is that? It's an herbal opioid from Thailand. Farmers used to get through the day and take away their pain. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't heard of it. Says Dave Rendon. And hello to Dave Rendon. And hello to Videodrome TV. And who else do we have? We've John Newman again. And Notan. And Jay Fowler Waves. Hello, hello. Lucas Diaz is here. Hello, Celluloid Queer. Fantastic. Prince laughs a lot, and the chat just scrolled, and I lost track of everybody. Hi from Mexico, says Fuente of... Oh, my goodness, there's a lot of words in there. I'm going to mispronounce them, so I apologize for mispronouncing something I didn't even want to try to say. And anyway, hello. Hi. Just trying to catch up with the chat as fast as I can. Can we pay our patron in Cadbury cream eggs? Please. Please. I don't know why it's so hard for me to find them. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get upset at you, but also this music is like blasting me. I don't know, why is it so loud? Okay. I am turning it down. I'll turn you down. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, so I don't know, the store near us, there's one that's convenient to get to, and they have every kind of Easter candy except the Cadbury cream eggs. And then there's the one in the other direction that does have the cream eggs, but I'm like, I don't want to go to that one because I don't know where anything is at that store, except for the eggs. Anyway, hello. So yes, I will accept your cream eggs. Charles D is here. Oh no, I thought Matt was broadcasting at noon. Oh dear. Oh, I hope you weren't waiting too long. Also, the time change. I hate when it does that. Hello, Very New England. This is David. In fact, Very New England. How dare you? It is from the I don't know if you can see the label here. The Black Dog, which was the Martha's James. Black Dog is Martha's Vineyard. Yes. It's we got it when we were visiting some family in and around Martha's Vineyard. Hi from Boston, says Shannon Elliott. Hello to Boston. I should do audiobooks. Thank you. I did do an audiobook. You can get my audiobook, Defining Marriage, at definingmarriage.com. Yeah, I wrote that a couple years ago about the personal stories of the people who fought for marriage equality over the last 40 years. So you can go to definingmarriage.com and get my audiobook. Greetings from Amon/Jordan. Great library background. Thank you. So to I love MFEO. Orange Bike says hello from the city of brotherly love. Fantastic. Ah, yes, Paris. No, that's the city of lights and love. Live, lights, love. Hello from the city of brotherly love. That's Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, right? I think. Butterfree Gamer says hi. Hello, Shannon. Me too. And Stoneham. You're in Stoneham, not Stoneham. How'd you learn so much about queer culture, says Brian Smith? Oh, you just gotta dive right in. Yeah, I don't know, like, what is my source for learning about queer culture? I mean, I definitely, like, I took a class in college, but, you know, just one class is, honestly, I don't even remember that much from that class that I took. I guess it's just, you know, like, seeking stuff out on the internet and being on gay Twitter is also very helpful. Hope you're having a good one, says Kevin Crane. Note says, where's the music? Well, I don't know. Like, I turned it down for you guys, and it should be. It's very subtle now, so I don't know. I don't know if it's even audible at this point. Thank you. Oh, I'm in Alston. Oh, Shannon's in Alston. Not a fan of the surprise snow last night. Oh my god, I can't believe it's still snowing back there. It is like getting up into the 50s now in Seattle, so my plants are starting to sprout. I've got a cardinal flower that I'm very excited to turn red and attract all of the local neighborhood butterflies and hummingbirds. This is my gesture for hummingbird because it's going. Bzzz. Watching from Lima, Peru, says Gabriel Vargas. How lovely. Good to have you here. I have friends in, Dave says, I have friends in JP. Oh, Jamaica Plain. I miss Boston, the Back Bay so much. Sometimes, maybe not when the snow gets really unbearable, but sometimes. Hello from San Francisco, says Erez Morag. I love your work. Glad I could pitch it on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. I'm delighted by that. If you are not already, you can become a patron to support the live streams and get some rewards. Also support some of my video stuff and my podcasts. That's at patreon.com/Matt Baume. My name There are actually college classes about the LGBT community, says Kitty Kitty Tobeans. Oh, I'm so happy to see you again. Yes, indeed. Although this was like 20 years ago. But yeah, it was a queer studies is a thing. And I can't remember what the class was actually called that I took. It wasn't called just like, maybe it was queer studies or something like that. We watched a couple things and I remember maybe like 5% of that class. Brian says there's gay Twitter. Well, I mean, most of Twitter is gay Twitter, but yeah, no, if you just follow the gays on the Twitter, then you'll be a part of the conversation about whatever gay stuff is going on. Roxy says, big love from West Texas. What's your favorite song right now? That's a good question. I just we're gonna get into this. Umbrella Academy. We just watched the first episode of Umbrella Academy, and there's some They Might Be Giants in there, and it's brought me back, speaking of 20 years ago, brought me back to the mid-90s and listening to Flood and feeling like, oh, this is music that I like, but I don't want my family to know about it because they're going to not like it, and that's going to make me feel weird. So anyway, yeah, I think I've been thinking about Birdhouse in Your Soul a little bit for the last hour or so since we watched. Here's the thing. Didn't love that pilot of Umbrella Academy. I know a lot of people like it, but it didn't really work for me, but maybe it gets better. Greetings from the tiny ass town in Oklahoma. This is a fabulous aquamarine trash can. Today is mon jour de naissance. Oh, happy birthday. Bon anniversaire, a fabulous aquamarine trash can. I don't know how to say that in French. But, yay, comment ça va? Hi from Newport, Oregon. Everybody's so dispersed. I love it. Mark Jeffries in Newport, Oregon. Should be a little warmer there as well, I think. Is spring sprung in Oregon. Glad to catch you live. Need more of your great content in my life, says Alan Michel. Alan Michael. Or Alan Michel, who knows? I've listened to your podcast, says Brian Smith. Hooray! I think Twitter and Tumblr were big resources for me in learning queer history. Yes, Anthony Oliveira especially. Yes, Anthony, what a queer hero, a queero he is. Thank you. It's actually my birthday, not anniversary. I'm still new to French. Anniversary is your birthday. I don't know what the word for anniversary is in French, though. I wonder if that's something Siri can answer. Hey, Siri, what's the word for anniversary in French?
In French, anniversary is anniversaire.
Oh, he can't speak French. Wait, I thought birthday was anniversary. Hey, Siri, what's the word for birthday in French?
In French, birthday's anniversaire.
Okay, so they're both... I didn't know he could do translations. This is amazing. Oh my goodness. I had no idea this was a feature of Siri. Wow. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, They Might Be Giants. Smile, says from Charles D. Hooray. Flood is the best, says musique. Oh my goodness, we're so French today. Long time no see, says Claire Shania. Yes, sorry, I had to postpone the last live stream because we had some streaming going. Not streaming. We had some podcast recording happening and found out at the last minute that we needed to make some changes to it, so I wasn't able to stream that day. But I'm back. Hello. Hooray. Hi from Maine, says Shannon. Loving Cozy Pants. So much fun. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I'm just in the middle of editing this week's episode, and it's a messy one. Any chance we may get a deep dive into And the Band Played On? Pretty please. Oh, that's a good... I'm putting that on my list. And I think I have the book on the bookshelf that I'm looking at. That one might have gone into a box at some point, but I think it's on the other side of the bookshelf that's next to me. That you can't see. That's through this invisible wall right here. Is that... Oh, yes. Whoops. Pay no attention. Pay no attention to my green screen. Klaus is such a sweetheart, says Lucas. Okay. I'm going to take your guys' word for it that it gets better, because Klaus was a weak point for me in that pilot. I found him very performative, but maybe there's an arc. Maybe it improves. Umbrella Academy is a thing I'm considering, so it's gay, says Resident Fallen. From what I understand, it's gay-ish. I mean, it's got Ellen Page, so we like her. And it's got some muscle men, and we like them, so I don't know, maybe it's gay. Gets gay. It hasn't gotten gay for me yet, but I'm only on episode 1. Cheers from Finland, says Melanie Foster Martel. Love the Culture Cruise videos. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying those. Video Drum says, I think I follow gay film Twitter and some trans people, but I don't think I know a lot of gay people on Twitter. Who should we follow? Well, for sure, Anthony Oliveira. Follow Mia Koopa, at Mia Koopa, and basically, follow whoever he retweets, because he has great, he just has really good taste on Twitter. Charles says it does get better regarding Umbrella. Dale says everybody wants a rock. Yes, another good song. Fantastic. Ellen Page says Brianna. I'm in Elgin, Texas, says Kitty Kitty Toe Beans. Hello from England, says Shannon E. Hello from Hamburg, Germany. Hello, musique. Hey Siri, how do you say good evening in German? Nope, not gonna do that one. How do you say good evening in German?
Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. Guten Abend to musique. Queero, Cellular Queer likes Queero. Mac Davis is in Tampa, Florida. And Rezel says, oh, really? Umbrella Academy is advertised all over Austria, and it looks colorful. I wouldn't say the first episode had a lot of color in it, but maybe. 69 people in the chat. Whoa, nice, says John Early. Surely not the John Early, but hello, John Early. I know there's other John Earlys out there, and they're all valid. All John Earlys are valid. You have a podcast, says Arturo. Yes, indeed. I have several. There's Cozy Pants, which is for my Patreon backers. I have The Sewers of Paris, where I talk to queer people about the entertainment that has changed their lives. Torridon says good afternoon. Hello to Torridon. Until recently, I was doing a podcast for Defining Marriage, and my big podcast, my big production that I do with a lot of other very talented people is Queens of Adventure. You can go to queensofadventure.com to check that one out. That's drag queens playing Dungeons and Dragons. I make that with my partner James, and starring the fabulous drag queens Arseniki, Freya Love, Butalino Kipple. We've had the wonderful Harlow Oscara on the show, and no spoilers, but there may be some fabulous guests coming to join us very soon. Hungry on Main says, what is it about gays in Paris? I don't know, but that definitely is a thing. At one point there was, when that queer studies class was happening at the college I was going to, Emerson College in Boston, somebody asked, there's some man on the street interview newspaper thing going on, and somebody was like, what do you think of this new gay studies class? And my roommate at the time, who was a wild and rambunctious person, pretended to be really offended by that and said, tell all those gays to go back to Paris. And it just, seems fitting. You look handsome as ever. Thank you, Vincent Smith. Hugs from New York City. All the best. Hello to New York City. I'm going to get Siri. Siri. I'll never feel alone again, says Brian. Not the best company, I'd say, but helpful to with translations, apparently. Susie is, words from my French teacher. Susie is not straight, her hair is, in reference to adjective placement. Interesting. Her hair is, I don't know what that says about adjective placement. Her cheveux, I don't know the word for heterosexual. Heterosexuel in French, I guess? Let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, how do you say heterosexual in French?
In French, heterosexuel is hétérosexuel.
Ooh, hétérosexuel. He gets very deep. Hétérosexuel.
Hétérosexuel ou hétérosexuel.
Ooh, hétérosexuel. Well, good for them. I'm surprised to learn that French even has a word for heterosexual. Do you have formal voice training? It's so unique. Thank you. Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say. No, I just talk a lot. I've done drama, and I've done, I don't know, I'm trying to think if I've taken, at Emerson College, we all were required to take a public speaking class because, not Ralph Waldo Emerson, but James, who's the Emerson that Emerson's named after? Charles Wesley Emerson was an orator, so everyone who goes to school is required to take a voice and articulation class. But I wouldn't say that was a big help. It's just that I talk a lot and I listen to myself, which is unpleasant. It's not great to listen to your own voice because you're like, oh no, what do I sound like? But it's helped me figure out what do you do with your throat when you want to talk on a microphone? And I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I just do it a lot. Dr. History says, I'm only watching it for the muscle men. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, if Umbrella Academy has a lot of muscle men, I'll stick with it. Hello from England says, La Chose de los Pequeñines? I don't know what that means. Help. Matt's look is hot in gay community. Really? Is my look hot in gay community? Well, what about my look is hot? Is it the beard? All the gays have beards. I swear we have a gay, of a guy at our D&D AL that resembles him to an eerie degree. Oh no, who's my doppelganger? My doppel Matthew. Oh my gosh, I have to race through this chat because I'm falling so far behind. I'm so sorry. Brian Smith says, I want to see Boys in the Band on Broadway still there? I don't think it is. Shannon recommends Karen Tongson on Twitter. I'm not familiar with her. Tell me more about Karen Tongson. I'm writing it down. Karen Tongson on Twitter. It's, yes, guten Abend. Oh, no, that's how far behind I am in the chat. You're just telling me how to say good evening in German. Guten Abend. When you're going to do Culture Cruise on Moonlight and Culture Cruise in general, dying for a new episode, I'm working on one right now, so you'll see one. I don't remember what the date is because my calendar is behind a bookcase right now. But if you go onto my Patreon, I do a post at the start of every month telling everybody when my stuff is scheduled for that month. So if you're a Patreon backer, you'll get like a little email message at the beginning of the month saying like, here's when you'll get the bonus episode of Studios of Paris. Here's when you'll get the episode of Culture Cruise. I'm really excited about this month. I'm doing the show Rock, which was on for a couple of years in the early 90s. It had TV's first same-sex wedding/commitment ceremony, starring, oh no, I've forgotten his name now. The actor who played Shaft. What's his name? Oh no. Roundtree, Richard Roundtree. He plays a gay man who gets married, not legally, but, you know, culturally, on the show Rock. It was a big deal, and it is very hard to find that show, but I was able to obtain copies of it thanks to viewers who pointed me in the right direction. Hooray! Anyway, goodness. But Netflix is trying to get me to watch something called The Order, says Videodrome. I know Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps is on it. Okay, that sounds all right. I don't know anything about that. Kupka's here. Hello. Dr. History says to watch Ginger Snaps first. Oh, and Shannon's an Emerson alum. We're everywhere. Wonderful. Wonder Woman and Dukes of Hazzard made me realize I was gay, says Brian Smith. That's amazing. Wonder Woman and Dukes of Hazzard. I will say, when I had to stay home from school sick, when I was 14, maybe 12 to 14, Wonder Woman and Dukes of Hazzard were on, but what I really looked forward to was Charlie's Angels, and my parents were like, oh, Matthew's discovering girls, and I'm like, no, I'm discovering camp. Shannon says, I just finished the MFA program in May. Congratulations. Oh my goodness, Shannon, that's amazing. What was your MFA? What did you study? Like, what was your concentration? Rebecca says, French people don't care what you do as long as you pronounce it properly. That is very true. Yeah. When I was in France a while ago, and I was very self-conscious about my pronunciation. Let's see. The original Wonder Woman and Dukes of Hazzard. Oh yeah, the original, I assume, right? Rezel says, my D&D campaign, I got my players in prison, in a Goliath prison where death is a gift that should be earned. They resurrect you until you serve your sentence. Whoa, that's really cool. Oh, my green screen is shimmering. Look at that. Yikes. What was I going to say about that? Oh, no, I've made it worse. Congratulations. In the Game of Thrones, there's a organization, no spoilers, there's an organization that refers to death as the gift. Pika says, I want to see Beetlejuice on Broadway. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know Beetlejuice was on Broadway. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hello from Dallas, Texas, says Byron Keith. Hello to Dallas. Brendan Fraser, George of the Jungle. Oh, was your first time reacted to a nude man. Yep. Nude, wet man. Do you know any Spanish? I do not. I don't. I know a little bit, like a tiny bit of French, and I know a phrase or two in a couple other languages that like might come in handy. Like I can say gracias, and that's about it. I could say "Seums nustiviku," which means "see you next week" in Icelandic, and that's kind of it. I can say "Kafungua karahapa" in Swahili, and I don't remember what that means, so hopefully it's not dirty. And Futari no Heya ga hoshi desu in Japanese, which I think means we want a double bedroom. Not useful. Not useful phrases whatsoever. I had a gay friend in school, says Orange Bike, who went to a different school. I took him to his prom, even though I'm straight, and it's gotten easier for the younger generation to have same-sex dates. Oh, that's really sweet. Oh, Orange Bike, how was the prom? Kitty Tobian says, I think public speaking is required for every major. Oh, which would be the death of me. I'm hoping I'll gain more confidence and make my own videos. You know, it's just one of those things, you practice. And it also helps, like, when you're talking to a camera, to be like, okay, I'm turning on my talking to camera. I'm turning on engaging. I'm turning on extroversion. And now I could turn it off and be quiet and private and calm and quiet. Do you have a favorite sitcom? Says Dale Wilson. Dr. History says The Office. Ooh, boy, what's my favorite sitcom? That's really hard. I need to think about that one because there's so many that I like. I mean, I was deeply into Seinfeld when it was on. I am not such a big fan of Seinfeld these days because I've grown more aware of some of its shortcomings, particularly as it relates to diversity. The Office is a good one. And there are bits of Parks and Rec that I really love. I think The Good Place is my favorite contemporary sitcom. It's hard to call that a sitcom exactly because it doesn't have a laugh track. It's got single camera. But I think it still qualifies as a sitcom, and I really like it a lot. Shannon, Brianna says, Shannon, are you going to check out the gender bending fashion exhibit at MFA? That's amazing. I'm so glad that's happening. Oh my gosh, I want to go see that. Oh my God. Rebecca says, what you do with your throat, your ears perk up. Haha. Dave says, my public speaking consists of thousands of AA meetings. I mean, that's not bad. Who are your favorite The Office characters? Says Videodrome. Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. I really like, I've forgotten her name. Ellie Kemper, the actress, but I forget who she plays on The Office. What's her character's name on The Office? Disney Channels and Andy Mack had a main character, Cyrus Goodman, call himself gay. I can't wait for Disney. Oh, first Disney Prince. Yeah, that's going to be great. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind the chat, you guys. Googled Ellen Page. The only things I've watched her in is Trailer Park Boys, My Life is a Zucchini. Not familiar with either of those. That's amazing. Would love to see more videos about video games. How often do you play games? Which ones have stuck with you after playing them? Well, I mean, Gone Home is, of course, that's one of my favorites. And going way back, Myst. I was like super obsessed with Myst. I've just been doing a little bit of Final Fantasy Tactics Advance to practice like knowing how to position characters in a grid to help me when I'm running D&D combat. So that's what's going on here at the moment. Oh my god, and the new Tetris, which I always pronounce Tetris, but it's Tetris. You need to search for The Boy Who Danced on Air. Ooh, that sounds beautiful. Boy Who Danced on Air. BT Dubs, we're going to be joined by JP Brammer in about 10 minutes, so I'm very excited for that. He's going to be calling in via Skype, so he'll be joining us shortly. Oh my god, will I be able to get through all the chat by then? Oh, probably not. Then another badass gay character in Medius is Rezel. In Guilty Gear, they have Venom. Guilty Gear. Venom, a gay leader of an assassin's guild who sacrificed himself to save the world. Ooh, that sounds nice. Oh, the woman who inspired Eloise. Wait, who's the woman who inspired Eloise? Wait, who is that? Brian Smith. There's a woman who inspired Eloise? Who is that? Oh, you know what I've been reading a lot of is the Moomin books by Tove Jansson, I think is how you pronounce her name. And she's family. She lived on an island with her partner, which is delightful and adorable. Let's see. Oh, and Erez says that the beard suits me. Thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Dernoy09 says hello from Russia again. You're still awesome. Thank you. You're awesome too. Yes, Videodrome says Ellen Page got kind of famous in 2005 for Hard Candy. Of course, I first became aware of her in Juno. What year was Juno? Gosh. Hey Siri, what year did Juno come out?
Juno was published the 1st of September, 2007.
That's not right. No, I guess it is right. Yeah, published. I don't know why I said published. Want to start a history of photography YouTube? Ooh, any advice? That's a really good idea. Just do it. I mean, that's my advice is like, stop wanting it and just do it. I fluctuate between Third Rock. Oh, these are all really good. Third Rock, Frasier, Cheers, Facts of Life, and Alice. Those are great. Those are such a good collection of shows. Yeah. Hello from Ontario, says Razor Flame. Hello to Ontario. Great show for Hot Muscle Men is Licensed to Drill Louisiana. What? Is it a documentary type show? Licensed to Drill. To Drill LA. I'll check that out. Are we talking about sitcoms now? Says Videodrome. We are. Francesco likes the background. Thank you very much. I just watched Oy Vey, My Son is Gay. Nice comedy about Jewish parents who found out their son is gay. That's a cute title. I like that, Kupka. Shen says, I was in film and media art program. My studies looked into the treatment of domestic violence and violence into the feminine form. Whoa. Made a short film. I'm trying to get into festivals at the moment. Good luck. That sounds amazing. I taught at a summer camp many years ago where we went to the Museum of Television and Radio and watched a presentation on that, but we didn't know that that's what the presentation was going to be about. They didn't like trigger warning anybody like, oh, we're going to be watching a presentation about how like domestic violence is portrayed in the media. They just like turned it on and we started watching it. And it was like, maybe it would have been good to let us know ahead of time. Fabulous Aquamarine says, anyone listen to Adventure Zone? Yes, it's a big inspiration for us with Queens of Adventure. It's very, very good. I would say, like, listen to Balance, the whole Balance story arc that started like 5 years ago. It's so lovely. Shan says it's called Waking Up Dead, feminist revenge horror film. Oh, that sounds great. I definitely, yeah. Is that online anywhere? Can people watch it online? Oh, Videodrome says, I saw Police Academy 84 as a kid. Didn't remember Steve Guttenberg went shirtless. Oh, as an adult, I didn't miss it. Oh. Anyone check out Doom Patrol and Native Man, says Diego Flores? No, I'm not familiar with those. Game of Thrones hasn't had a gay character since season 4. Very frustrating, liberal socialist. I agree. A pencil so retro, says David Don't. It's true. Like I've been drawing, not to sidetrack the conversation, but just as like a form of self-care. I've been, during my downtime when I'm not doing anything, I've been drawing rabbits. So I don't know if you can see, there it is. I've just been like, I have a little pencil and a like notepad next to me. I've just been drawing little, little bunnies. There they are, kind of like having a little hug right there. And so that's why the pencil is next to me, so that I've got like a little pencil there to do my little rabbit drawings. And, not for anything, just like, I'm going to relax and draw a rabbit. Does anybody have a gay movie they dream of, says Hungry on Main? Mine is a gay violent action movie like Terminator, Baby Driver, etc. Ooh, you want a gay violent action movie? I don't know of anything like that. Alan Michael says Good Place is the best thing ever. Dr. History says Dwight. Even creators of Good Place refer to a sitcom. Okay, that's good. Mention my I'm gay at moment was Brendan Fraser and George of the Jungle. Very important to a lot of gay people of a certain age. Night in the Woods, a lot of good gay characters. That's true. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm scrolling through the chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so far behind. Night in the Woods, playable characters. Pan, two other main characters gay in a relationship. It's nice to see like more forms of relationship than just like, you know, monogamy or a binary relationship. Like seeing non-binary characters, aromantic characters, you know, polygamous and polycules. It's nice to see that reflected more in games. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Ellie Kemper on The Office is Kelly. Kelly? She changed her name to Erin when Idris Elba kept getting her and Kelly Kapoor's names mixed up. So I forget, Idris Elba was on The Office? You're right. Wait, I think you're... It's been a while since I watched. I think you're right. Mr. Rogers was your first gay moment. Oh, wow. John Newman, that's amazing. Did you see, there was a thing going around Twitter recently about, was John Rogers, was Mr. Rogers bisexual? Hard to say. He does say that both men and women can be attractive, and that's nice, but does that mean, like, he himself was bisexual or just, like, recognizes that they exist? Videodrome likes Larry Sanders Show, News Radio, Roseanne, Early Will and Grace, The Jeffersons. Those are great. I like that. Gosh. Oh boy. Mr. Bunny is here, barely awake, just listening today, says Richard D. and Tracy. Hello, Richard D. and Tracy. Scarlett Johansson was my first gay moment, says Terabyte. That's great. Negman is gay. I don't know what that is. Greetings from Cloudy, Lithuania, says Katie1S. Oh, no, wait. Not Lithuania. Lithonia. You're in Pennsylvania, Katie1S, I think? Or is it Lithonia, Georgia? I'm trying to remember where you're based. Lithonia, Georgia? Or was it Rhode Island? I remember you talking about Rhode Island as well. Yikes. You like Torchwood. That's a good one. Dr. History wants a gay mystery movie. Can't think of any of those either. Gay mystery movie. Yeah, I don't know. After half a year being bashed into the closet, I came out to a bi friend who plays Goblin Druid in my campaign. Extremely nice. Now finally I have something to discuss boys with. Yay, Rezel, I'm so happy for you. That's great. Spop recommends a really great gay sitcom, One Day at a Time. Really good. As of now, it has 3 seasons. Up in the air as to whether or not Netflix will give it a 4th season. I don't know that one. One Day at a Time. Cute. Up with Bunny, says Richard and Tracy. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is gay action hero. Oh, really? Really? Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, huh? Bang. Okay, I'll give that a shot. I'm familiar with the movie, but I didn't think it had a gay character in it. I would like to see an LGBT adventure series. I don't know how I would want to write or what elements I want to include. That, you know, just like think about what you like in other action adventure series like Indiana Jones or whatever and make it gay. That's my slogan with everything. Make it gay. Chad Allen plays a gay detective on Here Channel, says Brian Smith. That's great. Greg Araki is a pretty violent... Oh, yeah, Greg Araki movies. They are kind of a downer. Those movies can make you feel like, ugh. I mean, with names like The Doom Generation, The Living End, Nowhere, ugh. Pup Shepherd is here, and thank you for the tip. Pup Shepherd wags hi, offers hugs to anyone who need it. Thank you, Pup Shepherd. Boop to you as well. Woof, woof. What are your thoughts on Drag Race as an influence on mainstream culture? Extensive. We may talk about that with JP when he gets on the stream in just a minute or two. Started watching Please Like Me. Oh God, it is good. I do like Please Like Me. That's a good one. Oh, Dr. History recommends the Donald Strachey mystery books. Those are good. Lithonia, Georgia. I had a feeling. I will say they don't use the word pan in Night in the Woods, which is meh, but she says she would date anyone as long as they were tough and could wrestle. That's cute. Yes. Oh, it's not coming through over here. Probably because Skype isn't open. What does he say? Okie dokie. I'm logged in as you on Skype. Can I log? Here's my question. I'll just have him call you. Could you tell him to call you on the Skype? Well, I'm afraid that I won't be able to, but let's see what happens. I don't know how to access them. Skype. Only one. Oh, I think that's the old. Oh, maybe if I sign in with the old one. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. This is so complicated, everybody. Okay, I think. Yes, this will log me in as me. Phew. I'm sorry. I thought Skype was up and running already. It wants my password. Is that my password? Oh, apparently it is. Who knew? Got it. Oh gosh, what's going on over here? Oh, there. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can get him in. And we're going to bring the Skype in over here. Hello. Do I have you there? There you are. But I do not actually hear you. Okay, I can see you waving. The connection seems to be a little chuggy, and I don't know if I can hear you. I cannot hear you. Oh dear. Let's see. Let's see what we could do about that. Can I get you... can I actually your camera? Nope, that should be fine. Sorry, everybody, about this. JP, are you able to... try calling me? I'm going to hang up. Try giving me a call. Okay, you can hear me, so he's giving me a thumbs up, so we're going to try that. I also can't tell if Skype is even open right now. Okay. Incoming call. Video. And there you are. Hello. Oh, I still can't hear you. Ah, gosh. So I am getting audio from Skype. So I think Skype might not be able to hear you. I would say check your settings. And meanwhile, we'll just do a little vamp. Do, 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 do. Here we go. Dancing around for everybody on the stream. Do, 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 do. And also, I've just discovered that the window capture does not seem to be working for me to be able to see you. So let's see if we can fix that as well. Nope, that's not working either. So let's try adding something. Nope, still not hearing anything. Let's see. Display. Oh, maybe if I do a display capture, I might be able to get you display capture too. Nope, still not hearing anything from you. I am able to see you, so that's something. So here's what we could do is, let's see. So there we've got you over there. And it seems like you might actually have paused because you're moving very, oh, nope, now you're actually moving. Sorry, guys, this is fascinating programming right now. Let's try this. I'm going to try sending you a Zoom invite, and we're going to try bypassing Skype altogether. And hopefully this will work. So I'm sending you a invite to a meeting. My meeting settings, there we go. And so I'm going to send you an invite to something and try clicking on this link. Oh my God, Skype is the worst. This is so baffling. All right, so let's see if this works better. Oh, goodness. Sorry, everybody. This should work in just a moment. Join with computer audio. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Yay.
Hooray. So I'm just going to switch a few things so that I can get you actually in the screen where you need to be.
Cool.
Phew. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. There you are. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me. Super excited.
So would you like to introduce yourself and talk about where folks might know you from the internets?
Oh gosh, yeah. My name is John Paul Brammer, better known by my Twitter handle at JP Brammer /Wanpa. I'm the current managing editor at the Trevor Project, and I also run an advice column called Hola, Papi.
Fantastic. That is a lot of things. I think it was definitely like Hola Papi that brought you to my attention, like reading your fantastic advice column where you're like, your picture to the top, just like at a typewriter and a jockstrap,
Yes.
which is a catchy gimmick, I have to say.
Thank you. I sadly just recently lost that image though because I moved it to yet another place. So it started at Grinder,
Mhm.
and then it went to Condé Nast, and now it's at Out Magazine. So it's like I lost all the rights to that image,
Oh
sadly.
no.
I know. I'm very, very upset about
Oh,
it.
oh, it's the
To
internet's
be
loss.
transparent about it. Yeah.
Oh, geez. So we've just been chatting about a whole bunch of things on the stream. Favorite sitcoms, gay action adventure movies, music that people are listening to right now, Umbrella Academy. So, what is the stuff? Is there anything that you're like obsessed with right now? Something that you're like consuming and you're just in love with at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm fully entrenched in Full Metal Alchemist right now.
Oh, fantastic.
Which, not necessarily overtly gay so far, but gay in that I am watching it and I am a gay person. Um, I I cannot stop. I'm just like binging it at the moment.
That
It's
is
always
one.
been like this huge gap in my anime experience, and I'm happy to be sort of filling it now.
Yeah, I had a friend who tried to get me involved in it like many years, like 15 years or so ago. And I started watching and it's like, "Oh, dude, how much more of this is there?" And I looked online and I was like, oh my gosh, this just keeps going and going and going.
And there's two of them, There's like
Oh,
Full Metal Alchemist and there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and yeah.
of course there is. Of course there is. But and you said it's not like strictly exactly gay, but
Um, I don't want to speak on that yet because I just started. So basically, what happened is I was kind of into the first one until I realized that people liked Brotherhood more, and I was already feeling kind of bored. And I already
mhm.
agree that Brotherhood is like way better. So I haven't been introduced to anything overtly gay yet, but it is anime, so I assume things will get gay at some point.
I
I'm just
think
sort of waiting on it.
that is probably a safe assumption. And I mean, you can always headcanon whatever gay stuff you want in there.
That's our power, Like we as gay people, we get to do that sort of thing.
So, would you consider yourself? Kitty Kitty Tobian says Brotherhood or 2000. Oh yeah, Brotherhood or 2003. She says Olivier is my Full Metal Alchemist crush, but he's only in Brotherhood and the manga.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, like I'm such a noob about this whole thing. I'm basically on the really heartbreaking Chimera Nina thing at the moment. So I'll let you know what happens as I continue along this path I've chosen.
Are you generally like invested in anime? Is like anime kind of your thing, or is this a new
Yeah,
experience?
yeah,
Okay.
I am a huge slut for anime. My fave is still Hunter x Hunter. It's sort of the thing that like I keep coming back to. I watched all of Naruto and I'm not happy about it. Like I never actively enjoyed watching Naruto, but I just couldn't stop.
What was it about that one that drew you in?
Naruto or Hunter x Hunter? Because Hunter x Hunter has like so many good things about it, and
Mm.
Naruto has none. But I watch them both. So
Surely there clearly there was something there.
see, you would be right. It's just like I've been interrogating my relationship with Naruto for a very long time now, and I have not come up with anything. It's like no, I don't enjoy the fights. I don't really enjoy the way the power levels are set up. I don't think any of the characters are given any real depth. I think that the women characters, especially, are like shit on for no reason. Every time I start to like one, the writer just sort of like fucks her over somehow, and I'm never happy watching but I can't stop. Maybe it's like, uh, I don't know, like some sort of masochistic thing.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think if I have anything similar, not in terms of like TV, but I will say like I've been playing Hearthstone a bunch lately and
Mm.
I like the game, but I don't like the matchmaking. So it always pairs you with somebody. It's basically like Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering, but cuter.
You know what? I will say this. Every time someone references Naruto in the real world, I immediately start laughing. Like it does bring me a lot of joy just knowing that this strange thing exists and that referencing it makes me feel the way I feel. So I think it's a kitschy thing, right? It's like
Gotcha.
it's absolute anime trash filth, and I guess I like that element of it.
That makes sense. I very well know that feeling of like, this isn't good, and yet I'm
And
obsessed.
yet, right, yeah, that's a pretty good metaphor for my entire life in case levels. Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have, so for me, like I'm deeply obsessed with like So Bad They're Good movies like The Apple and Xanadu.
Mhm.
And gosh, we were just talking earlier about trauma films. There's some very good moments in trauma films. Like I don't love them quite as much as the others. Do you have
Yeah.
like trashy culture that you're like, this is my guilty pleasure, and
Oh,
I'm just gonna give myself permission to enjoy it?
my gosh, how much time do you have? So I really enjoy watching things that I actively do not like. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like making things isn't that hard, maybe. Like
Mm.
it's totally within my wheelhouse to create. If this thing that exists in the world is so bad and so many people came together to put it out in the world, maybe I too am capable of doing something and maybe it won't be half that bad. One movie that makes me feel that way, and I got no joy from it whatsoever, but it's called The Book of Henry. Have you heard of it?
That sounds so familiar.
It's real bad, dude. It's
Okay.
real bad. It's hard to explain, but it's basically like this young child named Henry who's sort of this wunderkind, who's extremely good at math, extremely brilliant, knows everything about science, knows everything about medicine, knows everything about the stock markets. Um, he sort of he has cancer and he dies pretty early into the movie, but he leaves this like elaborate book to his mother on how to kill their next door neighbor who is abusing his stepdaughter. And it's Naomi Watts sort of like reluctantly going through her child's plan to kill this guy, but it's sort of the tone of the movie sort of makes it this like lighthearted Juno-esque type thing.
Okay. So really, so it sounds like really consistent tone. Like just totally completely makes sense for it to have like lighthearted. Oh my
So
god,
bad.
that
It's so bad. Everyone needs to see it though.
okay. That sounds. It reminds me a bit of. It made me so angry. There's this movie called, I think it was called The Gift,
Hmm.
and it like infuriated me. But it played on like on an airplane on a flight out, and then it played again on the flight back. And so I felt like trapped by this film. And it was similarly supposed to be like, oh, isn't it deep and meaningful? Something about
Uh-huh.
like this guy dies and he leaves all of his like his millions of dollars to his son, I think, or cousin or
Mhm.
nephew or something. He leaves all of his like millions of dollars to somebody. But in order to get the inheritance, his good for nothing, whoever this kid is that he leaves it to, has to like he has 1 month to do 5 good deeds or something like that. Um, and as part of that, he meets this girl who's dying of cancer, and uh,
Mhm.
she changes his life, and it's the magic of being a good person. And not to be like,
Universal
ugh,
experience.
good people are the worst, but just like the tone of this movie was so preachy and horrible. Uh, I have heard like the Book of Henry. I remember. I think I was listening to like How Did This Get Made or one of those, and they talked
Uh-huh.
about how
Yeah.
the mother
Yeah. Yeah.
is just like this. She's such a like so totally disempowered, like she just follows the orders of her child even after he's passed away.
Yeah, and it's sort of like not to spoil anything, like this movie can't be spoiled, by the way. There's nothing that would make this movie any more or less enjoyable than it is. Sort of at the end, she realizes, oh wait, this is a child, and I'm about to shoot this man with a sniper. It's just sort of like the way the movie treats that moment, which is it's like it's the moment that common sense sort of like comes rampaging into the whole thing like a bull in china shop,
Mm-hmm.
and the movie isn't built to accommodate that sort of thing, and so the man just sort of has to shoot himself because otherwise like nothing can move forward and nothing can make sense because it had this existential crisis in like the very last inning.
Good grief. This movie sounds like a lot.
Oh my god, it's so good. Another one that I just saw a really good video essay on is about it's called Beastly. Have you heard of that?
No, Beastly.
So Beastly is a movie that comes to us like in the middle of the Twilight YA book adaptation
Mm-hmm.
movie era.
Okay.
Um, it's like, do you remember back in the day when people were really obsessed with like updating and wokening old fairy tales?
Oh,
So
sure. Yeah.
like Wicked was happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
People were like sort of going back into old things and being like, how can we make this, less sexist and less, old fashioned and bring it into the new world. So Beastly does that, or it tries to, with Beauty and the Beast. So it's about this like really pretty high school boy who gets cursed by a witch played by either Mary Kate or Ashley Olsen. I'm not sure which one. And she makes him ugly. And he has to find someone who is willing to say I love you to him so that he can be pretty again.
Yes, I am familiar with this. And like, he's not even that ugly. He just has tattoos,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He looks like he was just in like a car accident or something.
Okay.
So yeah, and that movie has no idea what it wants to say about beauty culture because like at the end he just becomes beautiful again and it's just like, oh good, weren't you stressed when he was ugly? Now you don't have to look at that.
Yeah, like your reward is that now you're hot. Like,
Yeah, so yeah, it's not entirely sure what it wants to say, and it really well maybe it does know. Maybe it's just like no, being ugly sucks, and no one should have to deal with it.
it's a pro shallowness. It's pro lookism. Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe I'm giving it too much credit. Maybe it didn't want to say anything positive. Maybe Beasley is saying like y'all are ugly and you should feel bad about it.
Great. Yeah, that's what we need more of in the motion picture industry.
Yeah, we don't get enough of that.
A lot of enthusiasm for that in the chat right now. Shannon Elliott says, "OMG Beasley, the Olsen twins."
Was it both of them or was it just one of them?
I don't know. Butterfree Gamer says, I saw Beasley before. And Eric O says, isn't his Beastliness just like a shaved head? Yes.
No, literally, yeah. It's like a shaved head.
And yeah, Shannon Elliott says, twins, I'm ugly because I'm a cyberpunk. Okay. Prince Laughs a Lot says, what is it with all the Beauty and the Beast things making the Beast forms the hotter version? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about it. Speak on it.
Yeah. Like even I mean, speaking of like making fairy tales modern, there was a modern Beauty and the Beast in like late 80s, early 90s with, I want to say Ron Perlman? Maybe I'm making that up. No, James confirms. Yeah, so it was like set in the sewers of Los Angeles or something like that. Written, by the way, by George R.R. Martin. But yeah, even in that one, it's like, oh, he's really large and hairy. Oh no, what will we do?
Yeah. It's like, I watched this is a separate video essay that I watched on it, but like, this woman made a great point where she was like, but didn't a lot of people just want to like fuck the Beast?
Yeah. I mean, yes. And then it's like, now he's just some guy.
Yeah. What if Belle is just like, I don't know, a furry or something? And was just like, oh God.
She's like, well, I went through a lot, but never mind.
This isn't worth it for me, dude. I don't know. Get your act together.
Or maybe could you like turn away another old woman at the gate or something and just put it back the way it was?
The next movie is about fixing him and like getting him back to what he was.
There is kind of a reversal with with Little Mermaid. I think Little Mermaid 2, isn't it like she's on land and she dreams of going back into the ocean?
No, I think it's like maybe there's so many spin-offs, but it's like her daughter who wants to go live in the ocean. And Belle is like, no, not Belle. Ariel's like, you must never go into the ocean. Like, I didn't split my fish fins into legs for this, basically. Like, but her daughter really wants to go there, and like Ariel doesn't get it.
So I haven't seen the film, but my only knowledge of it is that there is a manatee in that film who, when it came out, everyone was telling me that the manatee reminded them of me. And I was like, okay, that's good, I guess. They're like, he's really anxious but nice. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's my bio. Anxious but nice.
Why not? So, which Disney character are you the most like?
That's such a good question. Gosh, I don't know. Just from Beauty and the Beast, I feel like a Cogsworth.
Oh my God, I feel it. I feel that aura.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's so accurate. I would aspire to be like Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, but
yep.
No, she's too much for me.
Am I? Like, that was voiced by Eartha Kitt, right?
Voiced by Eartha Kitt.
Yeah. She is like
so okay, like as a Latin American, that movie was really funny to me because apparently it started out as like this like deeply respectful animated feature featuring like, you know, Latin American culture, South American culture, etc., and then like slowly but surely became a buddy cop comedy.
Yes.
With like a llama. So I'm interested to see like what like Disney's quote unquote respectful take on Incan culture would be.
For real, yeah. I remember reading like there were a lot of versions of that before we got what we got.
Yeah.
I will say,
I'll make it funnier. I don't know.
The sequel, not that bad.
Oh, I didn't see the sequel.
As sequels go, it's all right.
Huh.
Let's see. Oh, Eric O says the daughter, like, hardcore breaks through the fortified castle walls to go swim. That is respectable. I like that.
Sounds good in theory. I wonder how they fucked it up.
Let's see. Oh, and Kupka says Disney's original Beauty and the Beast is what turned me gay, I guess, not realizing it then.
There you go.
I mean, he's like, it definitely like has the, all the tropes of a very traditional romance novel of like, oh, he's got a wild heart and can never be tamed, but I, the gentle maiden, will show him how to love. It just like, it's a Harlequin novel, but as a Disney film.
You're so right. It started out like as a story in a women's magazine in France, right?
Oh, I think you're correct about that. Yeah.
I think it did. That would make sense to me. I don't know.
Yes, because like the original like motion picture Beauty and the Beast is from like 1918 or something.
Yeah.
And is French. And I think you're right that that's the tradition it comes out of. I think.
It makes sense.
Porky the King says, hot take, Lion King 1.5 is better than the original. Yes.
It's so good.
It is. I don't know about better than the original, but it's like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, but with animals.
Right. Like it couldn't exist without the original. So there's that. But also like what it chooses to do with the original is so clever and so well done.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where it's like, oh, this didn't have to be good, but it is.
Those are my favorite kind of movies, you know, where like you walk in and you're like, oh, this movie has no business being this good. It didn't have to be. That's not where the expectations were at. And yet it rises to the occasion anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, love that shit.
We've been on my Cozy Pants podcast. We've been slowly, chapter by chapter, reading Model Land, Tyra Banks's fantasy novel, and that's another one where like there's some moments where I'm like, okay, this is a deeply goofy book, but there's some descriptions that I'm like, you really turned a good phrase there. That is just lovely.
So here's the wild thing about Tyra Banks, and I will probably go to my grave saying this, but she's sort of like God. Like when I think about how she defined a whole sartorial era in the early 2000s with America's Next Top Model, like sort of defined what the culture was, what the pop lingo, whatever you want to call it was. Everyone was watching that show. Everyone was sort of like copying it in some way.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like what Drag Race took a lot of inspiration from. She's really like, what is she? Where is she from? How has she done so much stuff and influenced so many things?
I agree with that. Like, especially when you look at reality TV, I think Top Model really set a lot of the foundation of just what we expect from reality television today.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't quote a lot of media back to you from that time period, but I know every rant that Tyra went on, and I know so many random snippets of like dialogue from that show when I was in like the 7th and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Like she made something so sticky and so like enduring with that.
Yeah, it's really weird how that stuck around and how it just worked. There was an incident where the show made me cry because I was sick, and when I get sick, I get really emotional. And James went to get me soup, and when he came back, I was watching. It's the episode where they go to Japan and they do like a whole Japanese tea ceremony.
Yeah, I remember it.
And I was just laughing at how I was crying at how beautiful the tea ceremony was, and I was just like really moved by like the culture. And so he comes in, and I'm just like a mess, and I'm sick, and I'm crying, and I'm like, it's just so lovely. And so.
I always think of, there was this one episode where she makes two of the finalists turn to each other and she's like, what she has, you lack. And then goes on to describe one to the other. And like, you know, one's outgoing and, you know, carefree, but is a little too messy and not controlled. And the other one's like really on top of things and really good at like, being a professional, but she's too uptight, and Tyra's just like making them have this face off, and it was literally just like an Avatar and like Aang versus Ozai, you know, when like the lights come up, one's like blue and one's red. It was just that same kind of like crescendo.
Wow. I will say she really has like in reading Model Land, like this knack for what feels like deeply upsetting and damaging therapy. Like a lot of the stuff that happens in that book feels like, okay, this is psychologically the worst thing that you could do to a person.
Right.
And she just seems to be really good at that.
No, she's really smart. I'm afraid of her. Like she's pulling the strings behind the scenes on everything, I think.
Not Animal Tested says, you're reading Model Land again. Why? That is madness. Doing it for the podcast. These are the sacrifices we make for the internet.
Yeah, do it for the pod.
Erez says, I've always considered Ariel an anthropologist. She collects artifacts of human culture and studies them, comes up with hypotheses, and bounces ideas off her friends. She is a scientist.
Yeah.
And I just lost it. Where was it? Oh, Cinderella 3. Prince Laughs a Lot says, a movie that has no right to be this good. Cinderella 3. Trust me, it's amazing.
Yeah, is that the one where she does this like whole Black Ops thing and has to break into a castle and like reverse what happened in time?
What?
Yeah, it's like this like heist sort of castle infiltration thing that has her as this sort of like really intense, powerful sort of like
That sounds amazing.
Like Salt-esque type figure.
Oh my gosh. I definitely want that.
It's really good, yeah.
I will say, like, I want to see a rehabilitation of Disney princesses to be like action heroes and be like in charge of their destiny and not be like the damsel in distress. I love it.
This is my thing. It's like Disney thought that's what they were doing with all the live action remakes, right? Like in the Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson, like they wanted her to be an inventor and they wanted her to be more feminist and they wanted her to be a champion of literacy, but they always go about it in like the worst ways. Like they never, it's always cosmetic. It's always very like, oh, we picked the most basic sort of like what feminism 101 thing that we could give the characters. Now everything's cool and Beauty and the Beast is woke now and everyone will love it. And it's like, no, they're not getting their hands dirty with it and making anything new and exciting. It's like I would like them to go back and actually do what they did with Cinderella 3.
That is remarkable. I really, yeah, I would like to just, honestly, I want a Disney princess movie where there's no prince. I just want, like, it's a princess and she's on her adventure and it's not like, either a love story, gotta get the guy or whatever. Like, I don't feel like princesses need a prince in order to exist, to justify their existence.
Yeah, I just thought of this tweet that I've been laughing at for like months now, where someone was like, Hillary should run again, but just like shave all her hair off and only go by Rodham and be super buff and have just like muscles upon muscles and like refuse to answer to anything but Rodham. I think that, but like with Disney characters.
Yes.
Would be really cool. It's like back for revenge.
Yeah, no, I love it. I do feel like in real life, Hillary is too much of a nerd to like pull that off.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is like, that's a perfect fantasy. John Early says, Disney princesses get their action hero scene in Ralph Wrecks the Internet. I haven't seen yet, so that is awesome. I definitely want that.
I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph. That's like a big pop culture gap in my brain. I hear that the first one's really good.
I will say, yeah, I like the first Wreck-It Ralph. One of the most impressive things about it to me was like just the licensing. It's just an amazing feat of like legal licensing, but also a good movie. And I'm excited for all the princess stuff in 2, which I haven't seen yet. Not Animal Tested recommends Moana, which here's the thing. I started watching Moana, watched the first like 20 or so minutes, and I was like, this has just been 20 minutes of I Wish songs. Like, get her off the island. Let's move it along. I just couldn't stick with it.
I had a really interesting time comparing that movie to Pocahontas just to see what Disney has learned about not fucking it up with like indigenous cultures. And like they had a lot of slip ups, sure, but overall, much better job. I think they got some of the picture.
Yeah, that is a really, oh man, that is definitely an interesting comparison for somebody. I'm not the right person to do that, but like I want somebody to make a like YouTube video essay comparing what they did wrong in Pocahontas to what they did right in Moana.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I mean, this is Disney, so they do it with a lot of characters or whatever. But the surrounding culture has to always sort of be defined as constricting, as wanting things from the protagonist that they don't want to give, and they feel very limited and confined or whatever. And I get that with European culture, but it's interesting to see how they do it with like indigenous cultures that had different ways of going about gender norms and different ways of like imagining power and applying it anyway. Like with both Pocahontas and Moana, both of them were sort of expected to fulfill this tribal role that they found themselves rebelling against. And yeah, it's just interesting to see how non-Indigenous people imagine that working.
Apparently, Eric O says Lindsay Ellis, that video essay exists. Lindsay Ellis did a video about Disney's shifting approach to cultural appropriation regarding Moana and Pocahontas.
I'm
So,
obsessed with Lindsay Ellis, by the
yeah.
way. She recently had this big feature on her in Wired that's really good. She's sort of like the person who sort of set all this video essay stuff in motion, in my opinion. Like, she certainly popularized it and made way for all these really cool people. Like, ContraPoints is another one I'm really
Mhm.
obsessed with. uh yeah, just people analyzing pop culture and making something out of it.
It's like it's super fun and also like challenging to like first of all find that pop culture because a lot of it is like it really makes you aware of how much just disappears into the ether.
Yeah,
I went on this like massive search to find episodes of the show Rock, but also like figuring out like okay we like this stuff but what's the what's the deeper meaning behind it all like okay
yeah,
it's one thing to do like the recap shows but to actually be like so here's why we care
yeah.
is another step beyond that.
Yeah, I'm super excited by it. Like, I feel a lot smarter than I ever have before because I have these really smart people explaining like pop cultural phenomena to me that I always think has just happened to me, like, or in
Hmm.
front of me, or I've witnessed it, but actually engaging with it as text has been really liberating.
It is nice to, yeah, like it also gives you permission to take things a little more seriously and be like, okay, well, I'm working on a Steven Universe one, and it's one thing to be like, yeah, I just really love the show, but it also gives you a little bit of permission to be like, oh, but it's also a thinking man's program.
Absolutely.
A lot of enthusiasm in the chat. Not Animal Tested says I'm obsessed with her. Terabyte says Tarrybyte says Contrapunts is funny. She talks about things that I never would have thought about. Let's see. Videodrum says I've been watching Lindsay since 2011. Eric O says I've been a huge fan since Nostalgia Chick when I was in 7th grade. It's been so good to see her celebrated. Oh, she has a great video with oh gosh, I forgot her name, Mara Wilson, where she talks
Yeah.
about like Mrs. Doubtfire and also specifically that phenomenon of like you'll never guess what the girl from Mrs. Doubtfire looks like now. Like those video ads that like had her for I feel like that's gone away at this point.
Wait,
But
you mean Matilda or?
yeah, oh yeah, Matilda. Yeah, the little girl from Matilda.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love her so much.
She's fantastic. I'm a big. I got to interview her like about a year ago or so when her book came out, and she's just as delightful and charming and wonderful as you want her to be.
We're like Twitter mutuals, and she's on my short list of people who I'm just going to risk it all and ask for brunch. Like, someday when I get a little tipsy, I have like 3 or 4 people who I'm just like, hey, fuck it, we're Twitter mutuals. Let's just hang out.
That's who would be like your dream brunch group to put together.
It's honestly ContraPoints. So like, I usually don't gush or whatever when
Hmm.
people like follow me back or follow me first or whatever. But with her, I was just like, oh my god, you've changed the way I think about so many things. I would definitely want her there. Mara would be great. Um, Gosh, who else? I would have to just scroll around a little bit, but those are the people who are off the top of my head I think of.
There's an episode of Star Trek where Data is playing poker, I think, with like Stephen Hawking played by himself, Isaac
Mhm.
Newton, Albert Einstein, and I'm like, that is a very specific group of people. And at the same time, I'm like, that must be an interesting conversation, but also like, oh my god, the mansplaining that would happen around that table.
No, you're absolutely right. That's the thing. It's like there are certain people who I would love to have one-on-ones with, but not be in a group with.
Yeah, yeah. Is there stuff?
Um,
We've been talking a lot about like the stuff that we're obsessed with right now. Is there stuff that's coming out, either like about to happen or later in 2019 that you're like, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait.
oh gosh, I'm sure I would have to think about it though. Like so much of my media these days I just get from YouTube, so
Hmm.
it's like it just filters in that way. I am excited for what's it called? I'm gonna mispronounce this. I'm sorry. Midsummer. Midsummer.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
wait. Tell me
the
about that because I know the name, but I don't remember why we're excited about it.
it's a horror movie from, I think that studio is called A24. God, I'm such a philistine. A24. Yeah.
That sounds right.
They're the ones who did Hereditary,
Okay.
and it's like a creepy, like I think Swedish inspired festival-ish kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because I think it's going to imagine horror in broad daylight, like sort of sun-drenched meadow horror, which I think is going to be a really fun aesthetic twist on it.
Oh, that is fascinating. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're kind of programmed to think like, oh, horror, it's got to be dark.
Yeah, see, like as a kid, I was always afraid during the day. Because like things that are gonna mess with you during the day, like what are they afraid of? They're doing it in broad daylight. Um, so it was interesting to see like that little part of my brain really activated when I saw the trailer. I was like really creeped out by it because of the sunlight.
Mm. Ian Lee says that's a bit like Wicker Man, which I
Mm-hmm.
guess, yeah, like, or like Stepford Wives or something like that. Like it's all out in the open, and that makes it somehow creepier.
Yeah, my biggest fear when it comes to movies like this, or like I guess fear in general, are people who don't know they're doing anything wrong and don't have the capacity to realize they're doing anything wrong. So it's sort of like the hive mind is just doing things to you. And what do you do to stop that? Because you can't
Hmm.
convince all of them. It's like a cultural thing, which makes it like so unstoppable. It's like really scary for me.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's a very queer anxiety of like me
Yeah,
against like it's sort of a gaslighting of the whole world says that there's a normal way to do something, and I don't want to do it that way. And
right.
why am I so
And
maxed
it's
up?
like, in some private part of your brain, or maybe not private part, that what's happening is wrong and that you're right, but that doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't change anything.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Like, do you know the what's the? It's a British series, The Prisoner, I think is the name of it.
I'm not sure.
It's one of those things. It's one of those stories of somebody just wakes up one day and he's in this like different place that he doesn't know why. It's kind of like Lost, but very 70s. Um,
Yeah.
and you're just like in this town, this weird town where everything is lovely and perfect, but clearly something is up.
Right. Yeah, like, I remember being a young edgelord and reading 1984 and being so freaked out by it just because I was just like, "Oh, it's just so scary to wonder if the person who's oppressing you, like, what's going on in their brain, if they
Mm.
can conceive of you as a human being, or if they want to, or if it's possible for them and they just don't care to." It's like, not knowing that while they're actively hurting you is so frightening to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That me against the world. Woof. Let's see. We've got some conversation about various Wickermans in the chat, the 73 or the 2000 version with the bees, the bees.
The
Uh,
bee.
Porky the King says, Matt, you helped me come out as bi. That's fantastic, Porky the King. I'm so happy. Hooray! Welcome out. Uh, Tim, Tim says, "Lost but very 70s" is the best and worst sentence. Thank you. And S-Pop says, I'm excited for in 2019 She-Ra and Princess of Power season 2. That is great. I'm happy that there's going to be more She-Ra.
Yes, me too.
I will say, like, it always shocks me when like Netflix is like, here's a new season of something. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was happening. Apparently, there's a new season of Arrested Development. None of us knew about it.
Really?
Yes, they like.
I don't know about that.
I know, like, no one
Wow.
talked about
Okay.
it.
Interesting, interesting. Sounds fake, but okay.
Yeah, if you say so, Netflix.
I assume there's like a new season of The Crown coming out soon.
Mm.
I hope.
That seemed, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I'd forgotten about The Crown. What was it? Guy Branum was just like explaining at length like all the references and the history and stuff because he's such an expert on that stuff.
I love that show. I'm very unapologetic about it. It's just like extremely my shit.
I like John Lithgow as Winston Churchill is like such
Oh,
perfect casting.
transcendent. His hunch in his back
Yes,
got bigger every single episode until the end, where it was just basically just like towering over the rest of it.
I love a good curmudgeon.
Oh, we love.
So let's see. And Porky the King says not related to LGBT, but Happy season 2 is coming out at the end of this month. Can't wait for more ultra violence on television. Good. Good to have that to look forward to. And Prince Laughs a Lot says new season of Sabura La. Am I saying this right? Sabura La Siri just popped up out of nowhere. I don't know anything about that. What is that? And of course, Thomas Grimm says, since you talked about Top Model and reality TV, what about Drag Race? Are you watching new season started? Did the new season start?
Yeah, it
Okay.
started when we just finished the second episode, and I'm really excited because this is the first season in a long time that I don't have to write about.
Mm.
So in the past, I've gotten like screeners, and I would just watch it alone in my room like a few days before it actually aired, and I would just have to keep like the heavy secrets of the episode to myself until it finally aired. And then I would also have to hope that like the take that I wrote on it was correct or like
Mm.
good. Because sometimes I would write how I felt viewing it in isolation, and then I would watch it with friends or at a bar, and the public reaction would feel very different and it would make me very nervous. So I'm super excited to like enjoy a season without having to worry about any of that.
That is great. It seems like it might be kind of liberating, though, to be like, okay, I'm just going to experience this strictly on my own without any like pressure from the world to be like, oh yeah,
Gosh, yeah,
she is the villain.
it feels so good. And also, I will say that it's a great season to do this because this feels very like season 4
Hmm.
type Drag Race, even like maybe season 3, where they feel a little messy. They feel a lot more willing to fight and argue with each other than other seasons have. Like, it's not that they're not polished in their art, it's just that they, for one reason or another, maybe it's because Drag Race has become so normalized that like nobody is taking it as the drag Olympics anymore like they were for a few
Hmm.
seasons, and now they're getting back to like, okay, I'm just gonna argue with all of you.
Okay, yeah. What reality TV does best.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very pumped about it. And I have a few favorites.
Who are your favorites?
Um, I'm really rooting for Evie Oddly just because. So I actually started watching Drag Race during season 4. I was at the University of Oklahoma at this time, and I hadn't wanted to watch it because it seemed like the scariest thing in the world to me. Because I was like, oh gosh, what's happening over there? I was obviously like had a lot of internalized baggage to deal with. Was really afraid of like femming it up and stuff. But I had like some older gays introduce me to it, and I fell in love with it. And so like the season with Sharon Needles really defined all my future drag race experiences because like it's your first thing, it's imprinting, right?
Hmm.
So she's sort of Evie Oddly this season sort of reminds me a lot of Sharon in that she's the oddball and she wears weird stuff and people aren't sure what she's doing, but she keeps like succeeding basically. So I'm pumped.
Those are my favorite queens, the ones that you're like, I don't know what's going on here. I feel like Jinx did it, like, was the epitome
Yeah,
of that. Like, she's falling asleep, and what is this, like, old-timey couture that she's wearing? She's not
right.
following the rules, and yet it's working.
It's a great narrative. Like it's just
Mm.
really good storytelling.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Tim has requested a video on Disney's first main gay character, Cyrus, has a crush on his best friend's boyfriend. I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to look that up. I'm writing that down right now. Cyrus on Disney. That sounds amazing. Yeah, so we're just about coming up on time. Where can people find you on the internets?
I am at JP Brammer on Instagram and Twitter. That's at JP Brammer, and be sure to write into Hola Papi. It's in my Twitter bio.
Fantastic. Yeah, I just adore your advice column. It's like the topics that you choose to write about and the take that you have on them. I'm always like, yeah, that's right. And so I'm glad you're like giving a lot of oxygen to the stuff that I think needs to be discussed.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you
Yay.
for having me today.
Absolutely. And everybody, thanks for joining us. I hope you join us for the next live stream, which is happening on the 23rd. Yes, the 23rd. We're doing an earlier one. It's Saturday morning, but like when I say Saturday morning, I mean morning, 9 a.m. Pacific on Saturday, the 23rd. We're going to be doing a live stream here on YouTube, and then we're going to be jumping over to Twitch for a little Dungeons and Dragons live streaming. So it's going to be a little YouTube, a little Twitch, and I hope you'll all join us for that. JP Brammer, thank you so much for joining me. It's been such a pleasure to chat with
Oh
you.
my god, anytime.
Yay! And thanks to everybody for watching. We'll see you on the 23rd, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.